So I'll go ahead, kick off. Thank you, Danielle and Kim, for joining us today. For STEM Weeks, STEAM Week in North Reading. Both of you have graciously offered your time up to share some of the great resources, library media related to STEM and STEAM, and also other happenings that are going on within your respective spaces. So I'll let you guys take over. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much for having us. Yes. For those of you who, if you, I'll introduce myself because not everyone may know me. I'm Danielle Masterson. I'm the head of Children and Teen Services at the Flint Memorial Library. And I'm actually coming to you today from the virtual library, which is a little convenient because we're going to show you some virtual resources that you can take advantage of during STEAM Week. So thank you very much to the public schools for having me here today.
Awesome. And I'm Kim Brown. I am the high school library media specialist, and Danielle and I actually work together a lot. My role is high school librarian, but we tend to work together and provide resources for all grade levels. So, even though my primary role is high school, we do a lot to promote things for all of the grade levels.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
So I can get started with what we had pulled together is a Wakelet, which is a cool little website that we can pull different resources together. And Kim and I both have one. I'm going to actually share my screen for a moment so that you can see what it will look like. Go ahead and allow that. And this is a list of resources available to you from the public library. What we have are some online resources, as well as some print materials, some DVDs, magazines, all sorts of stuff. And we're going to look at Overdrive, which is also called Libby. And I can show you that briefly. This is Overdrive, and all you need to log in is your library card, and you can go ahead and see we have all sorts of different stuff, including this little resource here, which is called Homeschooling Resources for Kids and Teens. This will be on the main page of your Overdrive website or your Libby app. And I'll hand it over to Kim. Let me stop presenting. Because I know you also have some resources that are online for kids this year, including Sora. Is that right?
Yes. So Sora is the school library version of Libby and Overdrive. So right now, only students and teachers at the high school level have access to Sora. But what it does is now students have the ability not only to connect to Sora, but connect to the resources through the public library. So I'm actually going to show you what that looks like.
You're going to see us bopping from computer to computer as we share all these great resources.
No, this is a great share.
Okay, so right now I am on the main page for Sora. So I am already signed into my account. And the way that students sign into this at the high school level is they use the Clever portal. So they don't need to remember a username or a password. And the nice thing is with a special code, they're able to actually connect to the public library. So if I did a search for computer coding, you'll see the MLS Commonwealth ebook collection books are the titles that we have available through the school. So you'll notice that some of them say placed on hold. And if you click on them, it shows you, how long the wait list is. But if you keep going, anyone over the age of 13 who lives, works, or owns property in Massachusetts can also connect to the Boston Public Library. So it shows what resources are available through Boston Public Library. And then if we keep going, these are the resources that are available through the Merrimack Valley Library Consortium, which the Flint Memorial Library is a part of. And you can see on the right-hand side, these are all of my libraries that I currently have linked through Sora.
And a lot of those books look familiar. They're not just available online, they're also available through the library as well. We have contactless pickup right now through our activity room. So if you see anything that you are interested in and you don't like to read online or using virtual resources, you're welcome to put in a request at the public library as well and actually get the book itself. And I believe, Kim, that you're also doing that at the high school level, a similar program.
Yes. So unfortunately, the media center is not open other than by appointment right now, but students and teachers do have the ability to use our book form, and they can request a specific title, or actually just this morning, I had a high school student who said she wanted something that was, a horror or thriller type of book. So, she didn't have a specific one.
Yeah. And it's great to have, and I know, with parents, that easy access to something digital or being able to do contact pickup is a great option. And, it's easy to give students something, instead of gaming on your computer, spend time on an ebook or find a real book and keep yourself engaged. It's such a good activity because kids have right now so much extended extra time. It's great that you guys, have those offerings.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. We also have through Flint Memorial Library, and if kids also have Boston Public Library cards, which I know we've been making sure that kids have at the high school level, we have a program called Hoopla. And Hoopla is really cool because it allows for, it's limitless. If you see something, it's available at that time. And this was a new program that we signed on during the pandemic because we wanted to be able to provide more virtual resources for our patrons. So I'm going to show you Hoopla briefly. All you need is your Flint Memorial Library card or your Boston Library card. If you don't have a Flint Memorial Library card, you are welcome to contact me at any time. Anyone who is a resident of North Reading or who teaches in North Reading can get a Flint Memorial Library card, and you would have access to all of these materials. So this is Hoopla. I'm already signed in. And because we're talking about STEAM resources, I put in the search term art, and I came up with all of these fabulous books that are already available for everyone. No lines, no waiting. I actually thought about taking out how to doodle everywhere for myself. And I also did a quick search. What you do is you type up here and you do a quick search, and I'm going to put in Rosie Revere, who is one of our favorite STEAM books that we have at the library. Great. And you'll see that we have a little movie, we have the audiobook, the ebook, and we also have this one, Rosie Revere's Big Bold Project book. And this is a really cool one. We actually do have a physical copy of this at the library as well. But if you wanted to check this out at any time, and you all can check it out at once, it has a ton of great projects to do at home.
Danielle, can you show them filtering to just kids titles so that if a parent wanted to do that with their child?
Yep, you'll see up here, I have it marked as kids. Now it is, so what you do is you hit the button here. I'm sorry, on my phone, I already have it set as kids. I had to click there. So you'll see the little check mark come up, and that will show you only kids titles.
Right, because one of the things about Hoopla is that it is really for all ages. Yes. And I encourage people, if you don't already have your Flint Library card, get your Flint Library card as well as the Boston Public Library card, because then you have access to additional. You're allowed a certain number of titles every month. I think Boston Public is 8. I'm not sure what Flint is, but this is 3. So it expands your offerings. And because it's not just the ebooks, Flint Library has the audiobooks. Boston Public Library's Hoopla does not have the audiobooks. But you also have movies and you also have music. So, there's a lot of content there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really great. We also started a new program called Scholastic Teachables. And this is a really cool one. Again, you do need your Flint Memorial Library card. But like I said, if you live in North Reading or you are a teacher in North Reading, you can have access to this. We can make sure that you get a library card. What Scholastic Teachables is the great company Scholastic, with all their books and teaching materials, have put together this website of thousands of worksheets. And what they are they're related to Common Core. They are marked by theme and grade level. They range all the way from preschool through 8th grade. And let me show you how you can access this, because you'll find a whole bunch of STEAM related activities here. So Scholastic Teachables, it's on our website. You go to flintmemoriallibrary.org, Scholastic-Teachables. We'll make sure this link gets sent out to everyone. And you want to click this link here that's in bold. It has to go through our website in order to see it. So that's why we have a couple of links there. Type in your library card. Yes, of course, I have mine memorized. And it will ask you if you want to take a tour. I'm going to give you a brief tour right now, so you won't need to see that. But you'll see that we have different topics. They have pumpkins and voting on there right away. And you can click right here. And you'll find grade levels. You'll find subjects. We have STEM. And say you wanted to go through these on the filters. So say you have a 7th grader. You can go ahead, and all of these are 7th grade level educational materials that you can use at home. You can also go ahead and mark off Common Core so that you can see what we have available through Common Core as well. And you can also differentiate between types of things. So one of the things we do at the library is we like arts and crafts. Well, here are a bunch of STEM-related arts and crafts that you can do at home. So this is a brand new resource. We just got it when school started, and we're really excited about it. Not only can you use it at home, but also we've gotten quite a few teachers who are interested in using this in the classroom as well. This is a really exciting one.
So another resource that we at the school library just got this year is from InfoBase. And actually we got 2 different things from InfoBase, but I'm going to just show you one. I think one of the things that's really important, especially right now, is the idea of being able to access items 24/7, 365, regardless of where you are. So these InfoBase ebooks are available to as an unlimited number of simultaneous users at one time. So this morning I was working with a chemistry class, and they're actually doing a project right now on underrepresented voices in chemistry. And so what we did is we started looking at some of the resources that were available here. And the Media Center actually has an old copy of this A to Z of Chemist, but this is the updated edition. It was just published last year. And it's basically an electronic version of the print book. It's really nice that students have access to this, and they have access to it at home. You can go through and search by entry. You can make the size of the book larger. You can change the font over on the side over here. They also give you recommendations. If you liked this book, you may also like these books. And there are books on tons of different topics. You'll see if we say view all, all of the different topics. So science, technology, mathematics, animals in nature, biographies, literature, you know. So there's a ton of stuff in here. And like I said, this is a new resource that we have. Another new resource that we have, also by Infobase, is a video on demand program. And what kids can do there is search for this. So they have content from BBC, from Nova, you know, lots of places that have a lot of good educational content. And they can search for individual clips. So maybe a 2 or 3 minute introduction to something. So if they're teaching their peers, you know, they could just introduce their topic by showing a little video clip or a full-length video, and that's called Classroom Video on Demand.
No, that's good. And there's two really cool things about, in my mind right away, that I think of when you know, the first, you know, the teachables look like they're ready to be printed as well. So if someone at home is working and you want to give your son or daughter an extra activity, that looks great for that. And then with the Infobase, it looks like, you know, it's a great classroom supplement, you know, for teachers, and, you know, be able to give students, you know, a couple extra options for things they're working on at home if they're working at home and don't have, you know, some of the access maybe to go out and find some additional resources. That's great.
Definitely. Yeah. The Classroom Video on Demand actually on some of the math content, you know, goes through how to do certain, you know, types of problems, you know, so it introduces concepts or supports, you know, what kids have seen in the classroom. So
that's great.
Yep.
And I think that's really something that Kim and I talked a lot about, particularly in July and August, when we were trying to think of how can we help support parents and families as they get into this new hybrid learning school year, and if, you know, we do wind up having to close school for an extended period of time, how can we really help parents with these types of things? So we really made a point to go out and find these different educational databases that would really help kind of give you something to use so that you can get your work done, and, you know, your child has a chance to supplement what they're doing, but also in an educational way. So.
Yeah, and the digital literacy skills that come along with that, finding, you know, resources that fit, right, that fit the age level and the age appropriate level, you know, and you can recommend something without worrying about your child coming across something online, or, you know, while searching YouTube. It's nice to have a couple go-to ideas, you know, when your student has a project, or even if you want to find a quick printable. I know I've run into that challenge online nowadays. You know, there's Teachers Pay Teachers, and there's all these other places, but it's nice to have something like, here, you can print this, and it's probably more relevant to what you really are trying to provide for them anyways. So it's nice to know these things are available.
Yeah, back in March, Danielle and I definitely did a lot of sharing back and forth, like, oh, you know, put this on the public library website. And Dan, you know, you had started that extended learning website. And so we were using that and putting resources on there for all different grade levels. You know?
And I've posted the extended learning site to the Clever page. And I think over the next couple of months, we'll definitely think about how we can merge that site with digital learning even more. And we're still kind of new to the hybrid model, I feel like, and when everyone's still adjusting. So, you know, I definitely see some, you know, more merging and more. I think everyone's growing, still continuing to grow with, you know, with the challenges we're facing, and trying to find new solutions. So I definitely, you know, the continuing and finding these great resources definitely helps keep us thinking, you know, what do we need, you know?
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of creative teachers out there. You know, you mentioned Teachers Pay Teachers, but there are actually an awful lot of educators that share their resources for free. And I came across some virtual manipulatives for mathematics and some virtual STEAM things. If you want to just
cool.
See those for a second. Yeah, I thought they were pretty interesting. And they're also very engaging. So there was this one, virtual math manipulatives. And basically all this is a Google slide, and it's a Google slide that's been made interactive. So if you click on any one of these, it brings you to an activity. Sometimes there are ads on the side, which it's unfortunate, but you just have to ignore those. But the quality of the resources is really, amazing. So they've got little counting bears. You can do activities with money. So there's things for all different grade levels.
Those are great.
Yeah. The other one that I found was there were two different maker spaces. So one of them was a one slide one. And this is an educator who, she's actually a library media specialist. And she presents at conferences and, she's amazing. But if you click on any of the links, it brings you to the different activities. And then there's another librarian who did this virtual Fab Lab. And that one was also really cool. That one actually was, whoops. I'm not sure what just happened there. It's trying to bring me to YouTube. There we go. She's got multiple pages on hers. But if you clicked on, say, the sneaker, it brings you to an activity where you would design your own sneaker. And
awesome. I'll definitely share these links out too with the video, because these will be great for parents or even teachers who come across this video to check out. So I appreciate you finding those.
No problem. Definitely. Okay, I can stop presenting now.
No, those are amazing resources. Do you guys have any? I know I visited the Flint Memorial website and saw that you guys are, doing some loaner Chromebooks and hotspots, which sounds like a great way to supplement. If people have particular needs and they want to connect with the library, that's definitely a great resource. Do you guys have any final words or things you want to share around, both of your respective libraries?
So I will just say, Danielle mentioned that she had created a Wakelet. I had done a district-wide one last year, and basically what I did was I updated it. So I'm just going to show you how I broke that up into different sections. And like I said, there's stuff in there for all ages. So some of the stuff we actually already had talked about, like Hoopla, but there are some elementary STEAM books that have companion activities, so you can look through those. Here's the stuff on Hoopla, and I have the link here if you don't have the Boston Public Library card. Here are some STEAM magazines that that parents might be interested in, and what the grade levels are for each of those.
Sure.
Boston Public Library, students and teachers, well, anyone over the age of 13 actually has access to all of these digital magazines. So if I wanted to just do popular science, for example, it's a digital copy of the actual magazine. So rather than go out and spend money, you can borrow a digital copy, and I think you can borrow up to 10 at a time, but you can manipulate it so that you can see the text larger, but all of the images, all of the things that are on there, in the print copy, you now have access to digitally.
That's awesome. No. And definitely include that Wakelet link out with the resources so people can access that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then Canopy is independent movies, and all of these different topics: architecture, applied science, computer science. Each one of these brings you to a page that shows you the movies that are available through Canopy, and that's another one of those resources that supports an unlimited number of users. And then we have what movies are available, in the high school media center, and then all of these activities for families to do at home.
That's awesome.
So the New York Public Library STEAM story time, it actually does work. For some reason, when you do the PDF, it doesn't show the image. So, there's a lot of stuff on that Wakelet, as well as on the Wakelet that Danielle created that are, specific to the Flint Library. So, if
That's
anybody
awesome.
has questions on any of that stuff, feel free to ask either one of us.
Yeah, definitely. Danielle, do you want to share anything news from the Flint Memorial Library for us?
Sure. Let me go ahead and present so that you can see. We actually have a few things that are new right now, where we have on this left side of the catalog, you'll see that we have a few different reading lists. And we also have, starting with personal picks, these are all different age level bundles that you can get at the library. So we have Just Right Books for Elementary Students. This is one that will walk you through your child's reading level. And it'll also, it's simple enough that children could do it themselves. It asks for a grade level, and it asks what you're comfortable reading, and then what topics you like. And you'll get 2 books that are just right at your reading level, and those can be used for independent reading assignments at home. These ones are a little more fun: children's book bundles and YA quick picks and adult book bundles. You go through and you pick different topics. Right now we're seeing a lot of apples and pumpkins and Halloween in there, and that's okay. We're trying to make sure that we have enough for everyone. But if you pick a topic and say we're out of unicorns that day, you can go ahead and we'll find another similar title for you. So we have children's book bundles. You get about 5 books per child. YA quick picks, you get 3 books, and the YA one is not just for teenagers, it's also for parents who enjoy YA genre. So and then of course the adult book bundles as well. And as you said, Dan, we're also loaning hotspots, and we're loaning Chromebooks. Those are open to anyone with a Merrimack Valley library card. You just have to come by and pick it up in North Reading. So if anyone is catching this from another town, as long as you have a Merrimack Valley library card, you can go ahead and you can get to North Reading. You can go ahead and get a hotspot and a Chromebook. So those are a couple of our new
I'll have to mention too, we also, if you're a student in the district or parent and student in the district who also, we have hotspots available for students or families who have the need for additional internet as well. So if people are listening and they're struggling with connectivity, 2 really good sources here to reach out to and connect with on getting increased access so you can enjoy these resources digitally if you'd like to. Well, thank you both. I appreciate your time today. Look forward to, STEM week is definitely a little different everywhere we go this year. So I'm really loving the fact that we kind of still connect and talk about the things that are important to us with, education. And this is such a great share of literacy resources. I appreciate both of your time too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Having both of us.
No, it's great. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.